Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Jonathan sent me a story. It's kind of a bizarre story out of Michigan. Small town in Michigan called Gobles, Michigan. And the headline from WWMT, written by Michael Kravchuk: students catfish high school teacher to get inappropriate photos, according to deputies. A high school teacher sent intimate photos, shall we say, to students, but he's now been cleared in a criminal investigation, according to the sheriff's office that investigated this. The teacher thought he was sending the photos to a woman he met online, not to teen students, and this is according to investigators of the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office. So you don't know, catfishing is a nickname term, a slang term for when you pretend to be somebody else on the internet. And it's from a movie called Catfish. It's basically somebody goes on the internet, pretends to be somebody else, and they refer to that as a catfish or catfishing incident. The students used online photos of a random woman to set up a dating profile and then sent unsolicited intimate photos to the teacher, according to the investigation. So they set up a fake account. They start communicating with the teacher, pretending they're somebody else, and they send him some adult photos. And apparently then, we'll see. So now the investigation has shifted to the students. 3 students who pretended to be a 35-year-old woman on a dating app were now accused of catfishing their teacher. And keep in mind that it's 3 students pretending to be a 35-year-old woman. Students used online photos of a random woman to set up a dating profile and then sent unsolicited photos to their teacher. The teacher then reciprocated and sent back some, and they put this in quotes, adult content of himself, not knowing the photos were going to students, according to investigators. So in the real world, if everything is as it seems, it would be inappropriate for a teacher to send photos like that to his students. But he thought he was sending them to an adult because those students had tricked him into thinking that that was an adult. So obviously that's where this whole thing falls apart. The students were trying to blackmail the teacher or had some grievance with him, the investigator said. The teacher was connected to the students through a program that expands beyond the Gobles public schools where the teacher works. The students under investigation attend a different school. So they were not students in Gobles, they were students someplace else, but somehow there was some connection where they came in contact with this teacher. The school district placed a secondary staff member on leave with pay pending the outcome of a law enforcement investigation, according to a district-wide notification provided to WWMT. It's unclear how long the students kept this charade up. Catfishing is a deceptive activity where a person creates a fictional persona to compromise a victim in some way as a way to intentionally upset a victim sometimes. Meanwhile, they said that detectives spoke to the students and the teacher involved after being asked by the school district to look into this. Gobles Public School Superintendent declined to provide a comment due to the ongoing criminal and internal investigations. So I'm not sure what the criminal nature of that might be. There's a bunch of things that you could think that might be related, but how many of them would actually be like something you'd be charged for, and how many of them could actually stick? I don't know. But here's the thing that people need to know. It is extremely easy to be somebody else on the internet. It's remarkably easy. And I talked before about some of the impersonation scams on the internet. It's a common one where somebody will find a photograph of a man in uniform with a small child. Take that photograph, put it on their personal website information, their own social media. Say, yeah, that's me. I'm in the military. My wife passed away tragically. That's my little girl. I'm fighting overseas. I'm going to be coming home shortly. Can you help me out? That's a common one. And the same rules apply whether you're dealing with somebody through social media that way or on a dating website. And so in this case, the students said, apparently, that they just grabbed some photographs off the internet of somebody else and put them onto this dating website and said, yes, this is the person. They've created this person using these other photographs. Well, if the students found those photographs online, those photographs then are online. So what that means is Google, for instance, has a function in its search engine that you can search for terms, you can search for words, you can look up Steve Lehto and see 2 or 3 hits on the internet. However, you can also search photographs. So if someone sends you a photograph and says, look at this photograph, for whatever reason, you can take that photograph and stick it in the Google image search function and ask Google, where else does this photograph appear on the internet? And in a fraction of a second, it'll pop up and show you all the websites that photograph is on. And if this guy had done that with this photograph, or any of these photographs that were sent to him or that he saw on this website, he would have spotted that, oh, this is not a 35-year-old single woman living near me. It's actually just a bunch of photographs yanked off this website over here. And so I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I know that many people in my audience are sophisticated and know how the internet works. But there's always somebody who goes, really? You can search photographs? Yes, you can. And so especially here where they say, we just grabbed a bunch of photographs and created a site, or created a page. This would have been discovered instantly if the guy had simply done that. And so if you find yourself on the internet in any situation where you're dealing with somebody you've never met face to face, and you wonder if there's a chance that they're not who they claim to be, which the chances are about 99.9%, you can do that if they sent you a photograph. Just reverse search it on Google. Now, that's not going to guarantee catch every single person, but it sounds like it would have caught this, because it was more than one photograph. They said that they grabbed the one for the profile at least, but sent him others. Presumably the other photographs looked like this person. And if he'd searched them, he would have probably found them someplace else where they were publicly available. And I've had more than one person tell me a story about somebody they met on the internet and what a great person they are. And one of them was, he's in the military. His wife died in a car accident. He's got a little girl at home. She's adorable. He's trying to get back to America. He just needs some help. And I said, do you have a photograph? Of course I've got a photograph. She sends me the photograph. I take the photograph, load it in Google, boom, and up pops 1,000 websites with the same photograph on it. And every website goes, this photograph has been misappropriated. It's being used by scammers. Do not fall for it. And I believe one of the ones I looked up, actually, they found the guy who it was. And the guy said it was the weirdest thing. Was at the dock getting on a boat someplace, and he was saying goodbye to his daughter, but his wife was taking the picture. And he goes, and I post the photograph on my social media and say, basically, hey, check it out. I got a chance to say goodbye to my daughter before I headed out. Somebody saw the picture and said, hey, that'd be a great picture for a guy whose wife has died tragically in a car accident, and now he's on Facebook looking for love with strangers. And boom, that guy became the poster child for it. So you got to be careful on the old internet. And catfishing, I think it's a stupid term. If you saw the movie, it came from some guy telling a story about catfish that had little to do with any of this. And it's not like catfish imitate other fish or something. I'm not quite sure. But that's the term, that's where it came from, and that's what it is now. So there you go. But it's a crazy story out of Gobles, Michigan. Several students got together pretending to be a 35-year-old woman on social media, and somehow, as a result, a teacher was sending adult photographs of himself to them. And by the way, some people will also recognize this as parallel to a plot line to a Simpsons episode where Bart pretended to be a suitor of Mrs. Krabappel's, and when provided a photograph, he provided a photograph, I believe, of Gordie Howe. So, gotta love that. Students catfish high school teacher to inappropriate photos, deputies say. Jonathan sent it. Michael Krafchick wrote it for WWMT. Stories out of Gobles, Michigan. And by the way, don't forget, I did mention a while back I'm starting a second channel for the videos that came down off this channel or other unrelated stuff. That channel is now active, went up last week. It's called The Vault, and I'll put a link in the description below this video. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. You can't handle the truth.